Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and in this video we're going to be doing a mock draft review, this time of Peter Schrager's first mock this draft season. His mock 1.0 was just released a few days ago, so we're going to look through the picks and talk about what we think about it.
That's right. Let's just get right into it, I guess. And we start at 1, and it's not any different than what usually would happen. It's not an MJD mock draft. It's a Peter Schrager mock draft. And so it is Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Trevor Lawrence. No, none of you are going to say anything because there's no analyzing that. That's typical. Same with 2 here. You guys like this guy, so I might let you say a few words. It's the Jets, and it's Zach Wilson. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of expected that Zach Wilson's going to be going there now with Sam Darnold being gone. Would have mocked it if he was still there anyways, but now it makes even more sense.
Yeah, the draft starts at 3, which, speaking of 3.
San Francisco 49ers, a lot of people have him mocked. Trey Lance, well, Schrager hasn't mocked Mac Jones. I'm starting to hop on that Mac Jones train at number 3 overall. I don't know. I'm starting to see it more and more. Just not only in mock drafts, but in my mind, it makes more sense to me. So
Okay.
I think it's Lance or Jones.
I like Mac Jones. I think he's my number 4 quarterback.
I don't think you should go 3rd overall.
He just doesn't give me 3rd overall vibes.
I'm in agreement with you, but I think the Niners might
like it just. I don't know. Like, it's just something's not right. When I see Trey Lance there, I see, okay, sit behind Garoppolo for a little bit. I think he could expand their playbook.
I think both of them don't give me 3rd overall vibes because they both have room to grow in some areas.
Yeah, I think Trey Lance's ceiling is higher, though, so I'd go Trey Lance here.
I also think that Mac Jones is just too similar to Garoppolo, in my opinion, in the way he plays quarterback, and I don't think Garoppolo fit too well in that offense.
I don't think he'll be a bust. Like, I think Kyle Shanahan would make it work, but I would go Trey Lance and let him learn behind Garoppolo.
Yeah. All right, next one is the Falcons pick, but we got a trade. It is the New England Patriots jumping up. Yes, they're going to grab a quarterback. It's not Trey Lance, though. It's Justin Fields. Yeah, according to my quarterback rankings, this is what I would say would be the correct way to go with Justin Fields here. I think it's close, just because I don't know if I'm picking a project like Trey Lance because he's so young. At the 4th overall pick, I'd feel more confident going with the guy who's played in a lot of good games in Justin Fields. Things to work on with him as well. We've talked about in other videos. But I don't know if we're going to see a team trade all the way up to 4 for Justin Fields.
Yes, I would take Lance over Fields, but even regardless of that, this just doesn't seem like a very Patriots type of move. But who knows? We could be surprised.
That's true. Pick 5, Bengals. A lot of people have been going offensive line, Sewell or Slater, but I think we talked about this in podcast. I don't think we made a video on it. Maybe we did. But the Bengals in this situation are selecting Jamar Chase out of LSU to reunite him with Joe Burrow, which is something he's publicly said he wants the team to do. So, your thoughts? Yeah, that would be a fun one. I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast before, but I could see it. Making Joe Burrow happy would be a good thing for your franchise. And Jamar Chase has a high upside for that offense.
Yeah, I'm really hesitant with this one. I think one offensive line is the smarter move. I think after seeing the way last year went, it's hard not to go offensive line, especially when there's a really good class here led by Penei Sewell, who's still on the board. And I'm not low on Jamar Chase. I just think I'm slightly lower than most people are. He's my 3rd ranked receiver, so I'm not really against him. But this is a very deep receiver class. I think if I'm the Bengals, I get that generational offensive line talent here, and then maybe round second round, 3rd round. Which, like, think about it. Like, last few years, like, there's been a lot of great receivers that have come out of those 2nd and 3rd rounds.
All right. Pick 6, speaking of offensive lineman, Ryan, we got one going here. Sewell and Slater still on the board, and in this situation, Schrager hasn't mocked Slater. Slater's been rising above Sewell more and more in these mock drafts. I think it's very close between them, but after watching both of the guys, I chose Sewell over Slater just by a little bit, but I could see why they would go Slater. Yeah, I like the offensive line move at this point. I think with them having Will Fuller, they don't really need to take a receiver unless they really feel the need to, which I think I haven't formally watched him yet, but just based on what I know, I'd say Penei Sewell is better, but Slater's still a great talent, and I think this is a solid pick for the Dolphins. Alrighty. Next pick is pick 7. Originally the Lions, but trade alert. It's the Cardinals moving up. I feel like this is certainly something they would do. The trade up to get Kyle Pitts.
Very Cardinals move.
Yeah, if he's there really before 8, someone's trading up to go get Kyle Pitts because he is an absolute freak of nature. And I'd like that move from the Lions too. Someone's gonna have to trade up. I feel like if he's not taken, even before the top 5, I could see a team wanting to hop up and get Kyle Pitts because he's that type of guy.
When you mentioned trading up for Kyle Pitts, I think the Cowboys are another team to look out for that.
Interesting. Pick 8, Panthers, no trade here. Not going to go quarterback because they just got Sam Darnold, and so Sewell's still on the board. They'll snatch him up with ease. I really like this pick for them. They got their new quarterback, and now one of the better linemen in this draft, if not the best lineman to block for him.
Yeah, the Panthers are a team that I really think has a great future. They're on the rise. They've got a lot of young talent on both sides of the ball, and this would add to it.
All right, pick 9. This is where Ryan's going to want to punch my computer. It's the Broncos, and he hasn't picking Trey Lance.
Well, I like Trey Lance, and I've said that before. He's my third-ranked quarterback. I just don't think Denver should take a quarterback really anywhere near the first round. That's all. That's why I don't like it.
I could see it, but I also agree with Ryan a bit saying they should stick with Drew Lock, but if they think Lance is better, he'd go and do it.
Yeah, unless like Zach Wilson falls to 9, they should not be taking a quarterback. And Zach Wilson's not falling past 2.
All right, pick 10, Dallas Cowboys, Patrick Surtain. This is another one we've seen a lot. I mean, they need that position very much so. Surtain has been would be a guy that would fill it up nicely.
Yeah, I think you also have to look at edge rusher here because there's also a lot of talented first-round edge rushers led by Kwity Paye and Jalen Phillips, at least in my opinion. But I think really any defensive position after watching some of those Cowboys games last year, you could make a case for drafting. So I like the pick.
All right, pick 11, Giants address the wide receiver position with Galladay. Maybe could use some help still, but not a necessary need right now. All needs are necessary. But Micah Parsons is who Schrager has him mocked, linebacker out of Penn State. I don't think they go receiver anymore, so I could definitely see Parsons being someone they'd want to get. A dominant guy in the defense that could grow into a big leader and get that defense back to what it was in the Super Bowl days.
Yeah, Parsons is a pretty interesting prospect for me. I haven't gotten a chance to watch him yet, but I certainly will before the draft because I feel like he's either in the top 15 or he's out of the first round. He's really a wild card in a lot of mock drafts that I've seen. He is one of those opt-outs from last year, did not play. So I'm eager to see how I view him. But yeah, Parsons is just interesting in the sense that he's all over the place in mock drafts.
All right. Pick 12, Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of ways they can go. Drafted Jalen Reagor last year. This year, mock drafting Jalen Waddle. Who was this team again? The Eagles. Yeah, this one makes sense. Definitely, they need to go receiver, but they're trying to replace that Deshaun Jackson type of guy with Jalen Waddle. I'm not too high on Jalen Waddle. I think he's a first-round player.
Yeah.
But I think there's other players that could go in front of him here. We haven't even seen Devontae Smith go off the board yet either, so that's where I would go with it. I would say Smith if they're going receiver, but...
Yeah, I think there's definitely better receivers available, but we also thought that last year when the Eagles were picking in. So this would be an Eagles move, although Waddle's still a first-round talent. I just think there's other guys that are still on the board that are better.
Justin Jefferson was clearly better than Jalen
Absolutely.
Reagor
I think
year one.
Yeah, I think there's better options. I think Waddle's got nice speed, but speed is not everything, and there's other guys that I think have more impressive skill sets.
Yeah, and I know the names are spelled differently, but they grabbed Jalen Hurts and Jalen Reagor last year, so might go and get Jalen Waddle.
Then they got to trade back up and get Jalen Phillips.
Yeah. 13, Los Angeles Chargers. They need offensive line help. They could go receiver, but they also need offensive line help, even though they got Corey Linsley already. And they go Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech offensive tackle. Yeah, I think they got to address that offensive line. Christian Darrisaw would be a good guy to go there. I know they've been addressing it more and more, but it was so bad last year. They need as much help as they can get. Darrisaw would definitely be a good help.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be tempted to take a receiver here just because of the guys that have fallen. Devontae Smith is still there. I really like Rashad Bateman, so I'd strongly consider him, but I think offensive line is a smart move.
Okay. 14, Ryan's going to like this one. It's the Vikings. Kwity Paye is who Peter has him going.
I like the pick. I think at this point this would be a steal. I think Kwity Paye's got a lot of talent. He's NFL ready. He always wins his one-on-one matchups. He's one of the most enjoyable players to watch when you're watching film because he's just so dominant in his matchups. And I think the Vikings, I think their secondary is pretty good, but I think up front defensively they need to get stronger, especially when you want to try and stop teams with good quarterbacks and high-powered offenses, which is something they did not do last year. So I love the pick. I like Kwity Paye. He's the number one edge rusher in my opinion for sure. So good pick by the Vikings here.
15, originally the Patriots pick, but there was that trade earlier where the Patriots traded up with this team, the Atlanta Falcons. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is who he has him going. Yeah, this is a good one as well for the Falcons. They got to adjust defense, similar to the Eagles, or the Cowboys, I mean. Anywhere on defense, we could see him going.
Yeah, Falcons got to adjust defense. You said it.
16, also speaking of trades, the Cardinals traded up with the Lions. So the Lions at 16 now. And someone that some people have had a mock going up at their pick where they were earlier, going Devontae Smith at the wide receiver position. If this were to be how it fell, that'd be a win on day number 1 of the draft for the Detroit Lions. Yeah, if this were the case, I feel like the Lions, even if they didn't know it was going to be Devontae Smith, they'd feel confident enough that a receiver that they like would fall to them, and this would be a good one for them.
For sure.
17, Las Vegas Raiders, Greg Newsome. I really like Greg Newsome. He was very fast, and he was very aggressive towards the receiver, not giving them much space. Tackling was an issue for me, but I feel like that could be worked on and would be a great addition.
Seems like a Raiders pick. I mean, I'd look at Jalen Phillips here to add to the edge rusher position, but the Raiders, like the Cowboys, they're a team that really just has to address defense, period. And like I said with the Cowboys, you could make a case for pretty much any defensive position here for Vegas.
Yep. 18, I like this pick. I don't know if these two guys will, but it's Najee Harris. I know they all like Najee Harris.
Yeah.
They're just not fans of running backs going in the first round. However, I think Harris is worthy of this pick, especially if you have Mac Jones at 3.
Big fan of Najee Harris, but not a big fan of running backs in the first round. Najee Harris could be one of those guys that would be worth it, though, but I still don't know.
Yeah, I'd say maybe towards the back end of the first round, maybe Miami could trade back a few picks and add to their, already stacked pile of draft capital. But, I mean, I get it. It's a little too high for me. Once you get into the 20s, I might feel more comfortable taking a running back, but Najee Harris is my number one running back, so you'd reunite him with Tua. I think he'd fit well into that offense. Another team like Carolina, Miami is, that's on the rise, getting a lot of young talent in that building. So I like the team fit, but just if you could trade back a few picks, I would really like it.
Yeah, I agree with that, Ryan. Pick 19, Washington football team, Trayvon Moehrig.
Yeah, I don't know much about Trayvon Moehrig yet, but this seems to be maybe a little bit higher than I usually see him in mock drafts, but it's right around that spot. I don't want to say too much because I haven't watched him yet.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I know people are kind of thinking, with a healthy Dak Prescott, Dallas is going to take the division back. I wouldn't rule out a Washington football team repeat because that defense is stacked, and Moehrig would only add to that.
All right. Well, Tyler, you'll like this one. It's Bears at 20, and it's Kadarius Toney.
Yes, I love Kadarius Toney. I would be so happy if he fell to the Bears because, look at Jalen Waddle. He's fast, but so is Kadarius Toney. And adding on to that, Kadarius Toney, I feel like, has more of those elite traits where
he's twitchier.
He's twitchier. He finds ways to get open. He can go up and get the ball more. I really like Kadarius Toney a lot, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, I like the team player pairing real quick just to add on because the Bears, their offensive line still isn't great, so you're probably going to have to be getting the ball out quickly a lot, and I think that Tony is the guy that specializes in the quick game, a lot of quick passing outs, just get the ball in his hands. Don't have him run downfield, just throw a screen, throw a slant, just get him the ball quickly, and then he'll do the rest. So I like the team player
Allen
pairing.
Robinson, Kadarius Toney, and Darnell Mooney would be a great trio.
Yeah, for sure.
21, Indianapolis Colts, J.C. Horn, quarterback out of South Carolina.
Another one I haven't watched yet, but one that I feel like I'm going to like when I do watch them, so I could see it.
Yeah. I think you could also look at receiver here, but I like the pick.
All right, Ryan, you mentioned this guy's name earlier. It's the Titans. This is something we'd knock a lot before they picked up Bud Dupree, but they still could use some help. Jalen Phillips to the Titans.
I really do like Jalen Phillips. He impressed me. He's my number 2 edge rusher. Think he should probably be going higher than this, but for the Titans, I've said it repeatedly, they do need an edge rusher. They addressed Bud Dupree, so now I think you also have to look at a cornerback because they lost Desmond King and Adoree Jackson and Malcolm Butler, so some voids to fill there, but also edge rusher. They still have to get better at attacking the passer if they want to take that next step to a Super Bowl contender. I think Phillips is a bit of a steal at this point, and when you watch Jalen Phillips, he's just so quick to get into the backfield. You watch those Miami games, he's almost always the first defender in the backfield, so really had a fun time watching Phillips. I like the pick.
23, Jets again, Rondale Moore.
That's an interesting one.
I have not seen Rondale Moore in the first round a lot, but I would expect that from that 40 time, this was a good reaction to it. Because he ran like a 4.28 or something?
Yeah, everyone seems to have.
Yeah, it was really fast, though. Still got to watch him.
Yeah, same.
24, Pittsburgh Steelers, Landon Dickerson need help on the offensive line again.
You said it.
Yeah, Landon Dickerson's a first round player to me, and I think they could use him a lot.
Pick 25, Jaguars, Jason Oweh out of Penn State.
I get it. I think Oweh is a little raw. I think that he's going to take time to get better, so I think this is a little high for him. But with Jacksonville, they've already got a lot of young defensive talent there. They're getting more experience in the building as well. So I think Oweh would get better in time. He just might not be ready to contribute at a high level on day one. But later in the season, and especially a few years down the road, he could end up becoming a first-round type talent level.
Alrighty. 26, Browns, Gregory Rousseau.
Nice pick.
I could definitely see the Browns doing it.
Yeah, him and Myles Garrett. Rousseau is just very smooth. Yeah. He's very, rangy, good athleticism. Just him and Myles Garrett, that'd be fun to watch.
Ravens at 27, someone that's been falling, and I think the Ravens would be happy if this guy fell right to their talons because they're Ravens.
Yeah.
Caleb Farley.
I like Caleb Farley when I watched him a lot. I think he would be a dominating cornerback. If he's all right with that injury, that's why he's falling. It makes sense. That's why he's falling a little bit. But I think he's still back into the first round with that injury.
Yeah.
But without it, I'd say he's probably, or maybe just at the second half of the first round.
And with the opt out and the injury, that's two things that might make teams hesitant.
Yeah, and he was mocked above Surtan for a while. Now it seems to be switched.
Yeah.
28 Saints, Zaven Collins.
Still got to go and watch him as well as we get later on in the
Yeah.
first half. But this is right around where I see him usually.
Right. Well, I don't think any of you guys have watched this guy either. It's Green Bay Packers and it's Nick Bolton.
I've heard good things about him, but I haven't gotten a chance to formally watch him. I mean, obviously, he's a guy that's playing against high competition, playing against good quarterbacks in the SEC. So that would be interesting. Add to the Packers. I know they had some linebacker issues last year. Christian Kirksey was hurt, and now he's gone. So I think that you could definitely see the pick, but also you got to ask the question. Are you going to pass on a wide receiver again?
Yeah.
Well, I'd take Bateman here because that's a huge deal at this point for me. But I don't know.
30 Buffalo Bills, Asante Samuel Jr.
I think this guy's going to be mocked in the first round more and more as we get closer to the draft. And I can see the Bills going. Is it the Bills, right?
Yeah.
I can see the Bills going.
Yeah, Bills are an interesting team draft-wise. I really have a hard time kind of predicting what they're going to do because they're so close. Yeah. They don't have many needs. So they might just take the best player that they feel is available, and that could be Asante.
All right, at 31, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a lot of spots filled, but they did lose Sammy Watkins, so they'll address the wide receiver position. Not the guy Ryan wants to hear. It's Terrace Marshall.
Terrace Marshall is good to me, but I don't think he's a first-round player. I mean, you look at him 2 years ago as compared to the other two guys, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and he was right. And last year, he was clearly the number one receiver, but I don't know if he was that dominant to me. And I think he could be one of those second-round guys that could make a big impact, but I don't know if I'd pick him in the first round.
It is a very Chiefs pick, in my opinion, but I think you still have to try and address the offensive line, or you can go defense, but again, I think there's better receivers available.
Last one, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I haven't seen this guy's name ever.
Is like why we did this video.
In the first round. It is why we did this video. It's Davis Mills. If you don't know him, he's a Stanford quarterback. We love Stanford, at least Tyler does. And so, last pick of the first round, interesting one.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting. I don't want to judge it because I have not seen anything from Davis Mills at all, but I looked at it and I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he's rising a lot in draft stock, so
Rapidly
maybe when I watch him, I'll really like him, and this could make more sense to me. But I don't know. Kellen Mond right now would be my next quarterback that would go.
Yeah, and this is what I want to say, because it doesn't even matter. Maybe he is decent and could sneak into the bottom of the first round or top of the second round, or Kellen Mond, Kyle Trask, whatever. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are like in the most win-now mode you could possibly be. Tom Brady has said he wants to keep playing. He was still able to lead a team through a playoff run and go win a Super Bowl. Yeah, he might have slowed down a little bit in some areas, but Tom Brady is still a more than capable starting quarterback that can help your team win and help the players around him. So you literally return all your starters. Like, you are screaming win now. So why not just add to your luxuries of, defensive starters, or go get yet another wide receiver in case you don't bring Antonio Brown back? But you are in the most win now mode that you could possibly be, because you just won a Super Bowl and you brought basically a carbon copy of that team you just won with back for this year. So why you would not? It was like the Packers with Jordan Love. Like, the Packers were a win now team, and they still are. Why would you draft a pick that's not going to help you for 3.5, 4.5 years ahead? Like, it just this one wouldn't make sense to me. Yeah, honestly, he might be a free agent before he starts.
Okay, so that's the draft. That was Peter Schrager's 1.0 mock draft. We wanted to react to it for a couple reasons, including that last pick. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to let us know down in the comments what you guys thought about this mock draft, about what we said about this mock draft. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel with the notification bell. Like I said, comment down below. Did I miss anything? Like the video. I did miss that. Go check out our podcast and Instagram. And with that, we will see you guys later.
See ya.